Welcome back to This Explainer. You know, we often picture the legendary salesperson as this incredibly charismatic person who just waltzes into a room, delivers a totally off-the-cuff pitch, and boom, walks out with a massive signed contract. But honestly, that's a complete myth. Predictable, repeatable success in sales doesn't come from some magical, spur-of-the-moment pitch. It comes from meticulous preparation. So for this fifth module in the CWT series, How to Be a Salesperson, we are completely dismantling that old myth to prove that the real work, the heavy lifting, happens long before you ever even say hello to a client. So let's jump right into this masterclass on finding and preparing for the right clients. We're going to anchor everything today in the core CWT principles for repeatable sales success. Because at the end of the day, winning isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about being the absolute most prepared, strategic, and focused professional that your client interacts with all year. Here is our roadmap for today, covering exactly what you need to do before ever shaking a client's hand. We'll hit 1. Prospecting, the sales lifeblood. 2. Qualifying leads, getting mad. 3. Pre-approach, planning for success. And 4. The salesperson's planning toolkit. Starting right off with Section 1, Prospecting, the sales lifeblood, finding the next opportunity. It is an absolute truth in sales that nothing happens until someone prospects. The battle is literally won before the meeting even begins, and the leaking bucket concept perfectly illustrates why. Just imagine your business as a bucket. New customers pour in at the top, but, and here's the terrifying part, there is a hole right at the bottom. Over time, you inevitably lose customers. Companies close down, your buyers change jobs, budgets just completely dry up. It's totally natural attrition. But if you aren't constantly pouring new prospects into the top of that bucket, your business is going to run completely dry. Prospecting is literally the lifeblood keeping you afloat. So how do we keep that bucket full? Well, you need reliable methods. 2 of the absolute best are the endless chain referral method and the center of influence method. The endless chain is brilliant in its simplicity. You just ask a satisfied customer for a referral. You sell to that referral, and then you ask them for a referral. It creates this fantastic self-sustaining loop. Then you've got the center of influence method. This is where you cultivate relationships with well-connected people in a community. Think prominent local business leaders, influential professors, people who are cooperative and can introduce you to some really fantastic leads. Moving right along to Section 2, Qualifying leads, getting mad, filtering your pipeline. Now, just finding names isn't enough, right? We have to rigorously filter them to protect our absolute most precious resource, which is our time. There is a huge, vital difference between a raw lead and a true prospect. A prospect is strictly defined as a qualified person or organization that actually has the genuine potential to buy your good or service. Just because someone picks up the phone does not mean they're a prospect. So the real crucial point here is this comparison. A lead is just a suspect. You suspect they might buy, but you really have no idea. It's like being a detective. You've got a suspect, but you need hard evidence before you make a move. A qualified prospect, on the other hand, that's someone who has survived a rigorous vetting process. They've proven beyond a doubt that they are actually worth your time and energy. And the ultimate filter to figure out if they're worth your time is the acronym MAD: money, authority, and desire. You need to ask yourself 3 quick questions about every single lead. Do they actually have the money or credit to pay for this? Do they have the authority to make the buying decision, or are you just talking to a gatekeeper? And finally, do they have a real desire or need for the product? I mean, there is literally nothing worse than spending weeks on a brilliant pitch only to find out the person sitting across from you isn't even authorized to sign the check. If a lead is missing even one of these 3 elements, scratch them off the list. They just aren't mad enough. Let's hit Section 3, Pre-approach, planning for success, setting your objectives. Okay, so you found a mad prospect. Great, but you don't just pick up the phone and wing it. You've got to lay the groundwork. I absolutely love this quote from the source text. A secret of successful people: plan, implement, evaluate. It perfectly captures the mindset of top performers. Professional selling is not about just being super talkative. It's a deliberate, cyclical process. You plan your approach, you implement it with precision, and then you evaluate the results so you can do it even better next time. To actually make that plan work, you need a highly precise goal for every single interaction. And the best way to guarantee that precision is by setting smart objectives. Your goals must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed. Walking into a meeting with a vague idea like, well, I just hope I do a good job is absolutely a recipe for failure in professional sales. You really do have to be smart about your planning. For instance, making your goal something like getting an order is way too broad. You need to quantify exactly what you want before the call even starts. A true SMART objective sounds more like, I will secure an order for 50 units of our new software from the VP of Operations by the end of Q3. Now that is an objective you can actually build a strategy around. And that brings us to Section 4, the Salesperson's Planning Toolkit, Building the Blueprint. All right, this is where the rubber meets the road. You essentially have two main tools to build your pre-pitch blueprint. First up is your customer profile. This is all about research, diving into the buyer's background, pinpointing exactly who calls the shots, and understanding their personality and business expectations. Then, once you know exactly who they are, you use the second tool, the customer benefit plan. This is where you tailor your presentation to hit their exact strategic needs, perfectly aligning your product's features, advantages, and benefits to solve their specific, unique problems. When you pull all this preparation together, from finding that initial lifeblood of leads, to filtering for the truly mad prospects, to planning with your SMART objectives and customized tools, I want you to remember one simple maxim. Your entire future in sales rests on taking incredibly good care of your current customers and earning the referrals they give you. If you prepare properly, you're not just closing a single sale, you're building an endless chain of success for your future. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want you to take a really critical look at your own pipeline and ask yourself this. If your customer bucket is naturally, inevitably leaking right now, what exact steps are you taking today to build a fresh lifeblood of smart, mad prospects? Because preparation isn't just one little step in the process. It is the absolute foundation of your survival. So get out there, start planning, and go fill that bucket.